All right, so yesterday you worked on adding polynomials. Today, if you notice there's a minus sign, you're going to be working on subtracting polynomials. This just adds one extra step in, which is just annoying. It's not hard. So if you remember back in the day when you had something that looked like this, you would know that you are distributing a -1, and that -1 had to go to everything inside the parentheses. Well, it's the same thing when you're working with polynomials. If this wasn't here, you would know a 1 is coming there, and you're multiplying everything in the parentheses by that -1. So first thing you do is you drop down your first parenthesis. Now you distribute. -1 times 11 is -11. Drop your x squared. Now it's -1 times -7, which turns into a +7. Drop your x. And a -1 times a +2, which is -2. Now, just like you did yesterday, you are going to combine your like terms. Look for your highest exponent. In this case, it's a 2. Is there any other x squared? Yep. There's an 11, but you're going to watch your signs before, so you know it's -11x squared. So what is 4 minus 11, or 4 plus -11? -7x squared. Move to your next highest. We have -6x. Is there any other x? Yep, a 7, but you know to look at your signs, so you know it's a +7x. What's -6 plus 7? +1x. Do we need that 1 there? No, it just makes it look pretty. Ooh, that's gross. And last but not least, if you noticed, we only have one constant left, so you just drop it down at the end. Now, if you left the 1 there, I wouldn't necessarily take off points, but you need to know that's the same as it just being an x. Next up, you got polynomials. Again, you're subtracting. You know you're subtracting because there's a minus sign in the middle. So drop down your first parenthesis. And we know that if we have a negative but we don't have a number, we're putting a 1. And you're distributing to every number in this parenthesis. -1 times 8x is -8x. And then -1 times -10 is a +10. Just like yesterday, look for your highest exponent. Your highest exponent is a 2, so we have 6x squared. Is there any other x squared? Nope. So drop it down. Move to your next highest exponent. So it's just x's. I have a 7x, but we know we need to keep track of our signs, so we're boxing in the 7 with it, or sorry, the plus sign with it. Is there any other x? Hopefully you said -8x. And not just 8, you need the negative. So 7, 7 minus 8, -1x. Now you just have your constants left. So we have a -4 and a +10. -4 plus 10 is a 6. You should say, hey, you didn't write that correctly. You need a sign. And you know your answer is going to be a +6, so there should be a positive there. All right, we got 4 more together, then 3 on your own. All right, if you look at this one, we have a minus, then a plus. We know anytime we see a minus, we need to distribute a -1. So you're still going to drop this down. you're still going to distribute. Negative 1 times 6x is negative 6x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. Then you have a plus sign. So that would be like distributing a positive 1. But when you multiply anything by a 1, does it change anything? No. So just drop this down. You know this is going to be positive because there's no sign. And that's still going to be negative. Now do what we did yesterday. Look for your highest exponent. Is there any other x squared in this polynomial? No, there is not, so drop it down. My next highest, I have negative 6x and a positive 6x. What's negative 6 plus 6? 0. Bye. And now I have a positive 4. What else? A positive 2 and a negative 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 8, negative 2. So now this one, something should have caught your eye. We're dealing with just adding, not subtracting, because we have a plus sign in between the parentheses. So do this like we did yesterday. You don't have to do this step up here. Just automatically combine. What's your highest exponent? 2x squared. Any other x squared? Yep. What's 2 minus 2? Oh wow, it's 0. Now we have a positive 4. Is there any other constant? Yep. And what's 4 plus 4? 8. So now, unlike this one where it was a plus, we are now minusing. Whenever you see a minus, you know you need to put a 1 and distribute. And you drop down this first set of parentheses. You also know if there's no number in front of an x, what goes there? A 1. Multiply, and again, when there's x's and no numbers, put a 1. Negative 1 times 1x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 1x cubed is positive 1x cubed. And again, remember, you never touch the exponents, you just drop them down. So now look for your highest exponent. We have x cubed this time. Is there any other x cubed? Yep. And we know it's a positive, so what's 1 plus 1? 2. Can you even see that? Now you can. Next up, your next highest exponent, negative 1x. Anything go with that? Positive 4. What's 4 minus 1? 3. Did I write that correctly? No, because I need a sign, in which case it's positive. And then I have a constant with no friends. So we don't want him to be lonely. Drop him down. All right, one more together and then some on your own. Should I leave like a little dot on here to just annoy you and stare at the whole time you're doing all the other problems? I won't do that because that's mean. All right. We have 2x to the 5th minus 4x plus 6x to the 4th plus 3x. Looking at this, it should be jumping out at you. Are we adding or subtracting? Hopefully you said adding because there's a plus sign, which means we don't need to put a 1 and distribute a 1 because when you multiply anything by 1, nothing changes. So look for your highest exponent. Here we go. Any other x to the 5th? Nope, so drop it down. Go for your next highest exponent. We have 6x to the fourth. Anything go with that? Any other x to the fourths? Nope. We need to put a sign. There's one not written here, or there's not one written here, but we know this is positive. And last but not least, negative 4x plus 3x. If you're $4 in debt and you pay back 3, you owe 1 more. Again, this is not the prettiest it can be. Ooh, I don't want to get my finger dirty again, but that is pretty. That's what we want to see. All right. You are going to do these on your own. 6x cubed plus 4x minus this. Hopefully you wrote those down. Write the last one down. And this video is stopping you and asking you questions in between. And then I'm going to quickly do these out, so if you got them wrong, you can understand why. All right, this one you have a 1, so you need to distribute. Drop down your first parenthesis. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. And a negative times a positive is a negative. Look for your highest exponents. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. We don't need to write the 1. This is your next highest. There's no other x squared, so drop it down. Now we have a positive 4 and a positive 3, which gives us positive 7x. Next one, you need to write a 1 here. We have a plus sign, so we're not distributing. We're just combining. This goes with this. 9 plus 1 is 10x squared. Then we have negative 4x plus 4x, which goes to 0. This guy has no friends, so drop him down. Ooh, I almost just spilled my iced tea. All right, this one, we're subtracting, so put a minus. And put your 1 here. Ooh, hopefully I don't run out of room. Drop your first parenthesis. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. And a negative times a positive is a negative. Look for your highest exponent. We're combining the x squareds, which gives us 7x squared. Then we have negative 6x plus 1x, which is negative 5x. And 8 minus 7, which is a positive 1.